I had my coming out party of an eating disorder. And it was something that I hadn't talked about publicly, but I decided that Tone It Up was my safe place to announce this.
It's your trainer, Stef. I'm your trainer, Stef. It's Stef, your Tone It Up trainer.
Fitness trainer, model, and entrepreneur, Stef Corgel.
When I've listened to podcasts or seen an interview with a strong female athlete who's admitted to or spoken about an eating disorder, I immediately stopped feeling alone. I gained such great empathy for anyone going through any kind of addiction. And it's about getting the help first and foremost, and then finding tools that bring you back to yourself. Eventually, I did understand that fueling my body just opened up so many doors for the rest of my life and my friendships. Fueling is the difference between you being able to do something great or doing something very mediocre. That's it. Show yourself shining. It inspires someone else.
This is Tone It Down. Welcome to the Tone It Down podcast. We have Stef Corgel here today.
Hi, everyone.
We are in LA. So if you hear any sports cars revving in the background,
like that just now. Hopefully you can't hear that, huh?
We're going to work with it. Anyways, welcome. I'm so happy to see you. I haven't seen you since Austin when we filmed.
I know. It's crazy how much time has passed. 3 months, and you've probably traveled all over. And I've been on like 5 different trips, but yeah, here we are. And it's nice to just have a moment to pause and sit down and catch up.
I know. I want to do a deep dive with you, even your career, your past. I know prior to you even doing workouts to Tone It Up, we were talking on the phone about some things you wanted to touch on. And so here we are. We were just talking before filming about your connection to the Tone It Up community and how it's been since your new TIU challenge came out.
I just want to thank everyone listening. We'll start there. The amount of love and support and emotion that has poured into Instagram and my DMs and Tori and China's DMs since we shot the campaign back in October is like so inspiring. I love to see all the girls really recommitting to themselves and to this community. And, you know, it comes back to congratulations, Karena. You took it back. It is yours. And now it's a different feeling moving forward to like, I compare it as like leasing a car or owning a car, you know, renting a house or buying a house. Like you get to pour into yourself now and do it your own way. And I think when we were all back together, I noticed some really stark differences from, you know, 2027 or 2017, sorry, correction, when we first started with Tone It Up and today. And I just feel like we've all grown up.
Yeah.
There's no other way to put it.
You're saying like when you first were with Tone It Up, that what you thought it was to how it is today. Like explain that feeling.
I was born and raised in Manhattan Beach, and it is, you know, my hometown, my beach town, and it's all I know. And so when I heard of this Tone It Up thing that was emerging or that had been around for a while, I think I was just, I guess, returning home from living in Portland, and I was away for college. I was away playing basketball overseas. So Tone It Up started when I was not living in my hometown. And when I came back to it, I was pretty much floored by this whole community. I went to one of the Tone It Up events in 2017. And I think it was on tour.
The LA one.
Yeah.
Yep.
LA tour with a couple friends just to familiarize myself with the brand. And my jaw was on the floor the entire time. I didn't understand that like Karena and Katrina were Beyonce. And what this whole Tone It Up thing was. And then to be a part of it was such an honor. But truly, when I started with Tone It Up, I was used to the fitness modeling industry.
Yeah, because you've done it for a long time.
Yeah. So I started fitness modeling when I was 20, and then it really took off for me when I moved back from Italy and stopped playing basketball. So by the time I was 25, 26, I was booking jobs weekly. I was making the most money I'd ever seen in my life, just pretty much overnight for a very unexpected thing. I certainly didn't plan on modeling. I had a feeling against it because vanity is something, or being portrayed as vain is something I'm really self-conscious about.
Well, let's stop there and kind of go into college and your college experience. And I also have a similar background too, and being in that same world, but also knowing from the beginning that I loved fitness. So that's how I got into fitness modeling and hosting and all of that. But I did get a lot of questions of like, well, what are you going to do after you get that?
Right.
What are you going to do after? I know something that really clung to me, and if we're talking about your college years, is that you wanted to talk about basketball and disordered eating.
Mm-hmm.
So we have speakpipe.com where people leave us messages, and we had a question on there that was about that, asking me about my experience with that. And I, on a podcast that comes out next Tuesday, I address it, and I mentioned that there is a trainer that wants to talk about this, and here she is. So let's talk
Loud
about
and
it.
Clear. Yes. It's another beautiful moment where I can thank Tone It Up, because I think Tone It Up was, I remember talking about this in 2019. I, for the first time, announced during a Tone It Up interview, I think it was like Love Your Body, I had my coming out party of an eating disorder. And it was something that I hadn't talked about publicly, except for my close-knit friends and my family. But I decided that Tone It Up was my safe place to announce this. And I think when you're addressing shame or a traumatic, not just situation, I was in and out of an eating disorder for a decade. And when you're addressing that sort of shame, you weigh the checks and balances of, if I put myself out there, is it worth it? And I decided it was worth it because it would help so many women. And I know that when I've listened to podcasts or seen an interview with a strong female athlete who's admitted to or spoken about an eating disorder, I immediately stop feeling alone. So I hope that's kind of what I have done in this community. I did fluctuate in and out of an eating disorder from age 17. I remember this vividly because it was the time of my life when I was being recruited to play college basketball and wanted a scholarship more than anything on the planet. It was my one major focus, and I did well in school, but the schoolwork came second. I was just so obsessed with getting this D1 college scholarship that I found other ways to try to control and manipulate my body. And
was there pressure though from the school or coaches to look a certain way? Or can you, whatever you can say?
I think people stumble into an eating disorder for many different reasons. Mine was actually spurred on by a couple different elements here. I was at an all-girls school out here in West Hollywood. I'd never encountered quite the females that I did at this all-girls school. It's pretty intense, academically, fashion-wise, status-wise. People really like to flaunt certain things, and it was going to this high school that I felt self-consciousness for the first time and stopped feeling as comfortable in my shoes as I used to be. And I found that my people were the basketball team, and that's who I could really relate to. And the identity that I clung to the most was, I am an athlete more than anything else. So my eating disorder actually began on finals week, my junior year. Crazy how vivid this memory is, but
We always remember our most tragic moments.
Yeah, right.
People are like, tell me about your best moment. I'm like, let me dig deep.
Well, let me tell you about when I fell flat on my face. I was finishing one of my final papers and my computer crashed. And so I felt so out of control that I went outside and started doing some basketball drills just to get my mind off of it, and then was going to come back and fix everything. I go outside to shoot hoops in the backyard. I sprained my ankle so badly. I'm in a ton of pain and then was in a walking cast for months. During that time, I decided there's nothing that's going to tear me away from getting this college scholarship. I am going to watch everything I eat, and I'm going to control everything I can.
Because that was what you could control.
Yes.
Going back to that, like a lot. Yeah.
So I clung on to any sense of control. I was pretty type A back then. Now lots has changed, but
Shifted it into like healthy habits.
Exactly. Exactly. But it is, it's interesting that my whole eating disorder, and I'm an open book on this podcast, I have had every kind of eating disorder on the planet, other than taking laxatives. So you're definitely not alone, whoever you are.
So I want to talk about this because there could be a lot of parents watching or young people in college, high school. How did you recognize it, see it, and then make the change? And what was that change like?
The change was gradual and took many, many years that involved continuous relapse. And there were certain things that were triggering. From all of this, I gained such great empathy for anyone going through any kind of addiction. Like the difference between someone's addiction to heroin or cocaine is no different than me being so addicted to sugar and depriving my body of basic needs that I can't help but binge. I see a lot of myself in people with addictive personalities, and it's about getting the help first and foremost, and then finding tools that bring you back to yourself and let you feel this safety with yourself and confidence, just living daily life where many things are going to go wrong and you have to continuously pivot. But for any parents that may be listening, God bless my parents. It's the worst thing I've ever done to them. They didn't know what to do. They hadn't experienced this. And nowadays we talk about eating disorders right and left, and I'm so grateful for that. But there was no talk about it when I was going through it. And I think they were stumped for a little while. But I did have a close enough knit group of friends that went to, my camp counselor or my teacher and said, Steffi doesn't look healthy. I think she's really cold when we go surfing. It seems like she's colder than normal. And is there anything we can do to help her?
Can we address, I feel like you're feeling like emotional. Are you? Like when you talk about it, I feel like it's almost like in your voice and your chest, like you still feel that pain. I could be totally wrong. But.
No, for sure. For me, this feels like a brave tone that I've moved past, but there's always like, you can sense it. And it's more so, I feel the pain of friends and family that I put through this period of my life, who, if anyone has ever dealt with a friend that you can advise and you can be there for them, but they just have to figure it out for themselves, and they just have to get help from a professional, and they just have to mature through it and live through it. It can be so frustrating and painful to have to deal with that. So I am not worried for myself. There's part of me that thought that I would cyclically live in this eating disorder cycle for the rest of my life. And then there's part of me that knew there's something brighter on the other side. And life is in Technicolor. And it has been for the last 10 years. It is so much of a relief to be able to travel, to date, to not have to be so rigid and plan your day around meals, or, throw salt on friendships by being edgy or being moody because you aren't well nourished, or have the energy to do the things you love to do, run, spend time with friends, travel, work out with the Tone It Up team. Like, the amount of energy and abundance that I wake up with every morning is something that I would never want someone to miss who's going through this now. It gets better. You have to do the work.
Thank you. You're like making me cry. No, that's
Thank you for being a space that makes me feel safe enough to talk about this.
Yeah, I mean, just your vulnerability, and so many people that are going to hear that and be like, oh, I was hiding. So how do I heal? When does that, just really getting to that aha moment and where you are now and how you treat fitness and what you eat? Because, when we look at you work out, we're like, she is the strongest. Like, everyone loves your workouts. You're so strong. You're so fierce. You're so confident. And you are that woman. And so how do you treat working out and eating today as you've healed?
I think it's a part of growing up. When being born and raised in Los Angeles did not make that easy, right? You turn around every corner. I grew up with, what is it called? Basically like Teen Vogue.
Oh my God, so did I. And you're younger than me, but yeah, everyone's like, oh, it's Instagram and social media now. Yeah. But we grew up with Teen Vogue and Pop and 17 and all the things.
The images I saw as in my formative years were not really helpful for understanding that and empowering my own body type. But as I grew into myself, into my career, understood my energetic needs, and that's not like a woo-woo energetic needs. It's a, do I have enough energy to play 40 minutes of a basketball game and be the one that's rallying my teammates, picking them up off the ground when they take a charge, and guarding someone for 94 feet? Do I have enough energy to wake up at 5:30 in the morning, check the surf, and then grab a board and paddle out with my girlfriends? Or do I have enough energy to show up and cheer for my friends at a race and scream at the top of my lungs because they're doing something extraordinary? I think, a lot of the time, focusing on being present and just getting moving can help you along emotionally. And that's really what I did over time. But I want to emphasize that there wasn't one moment where I got over my eating disorder. I relapsed time and time again in private moments, in moments when I publicly came out to my parents and said, gosh, this is still happening. I feel out of control and I need help. But eventually I did understand that fueling my body just opened up so many doors for the rest of my life and my friendships. And there were times when I would be doing a workout and I'd feel dizzy or I'd feel dehydrated. Well, now I don't face that anymore unless I'm pushing it way too hard.
Which you do push a lot. But when we were on set, we're like, got to get enough calories in this girl. She's training she's going from the set for Tone It Up. You were going to the New York Marathon. Yeah. And I brought you a 35-pound kettlebell from my gym, and you just powered through that workout. But you're so strong, and you know how to fuel your body. You know how to recover from your workouts. And why, how did you get so much into endurance sports, and what does that mean for you now?
Endurance sports have actually furthered my recovery from any disordered eating, truly. Because as opposed to a team sport or something like surfing or swimming, when you can take breaks, your motor, your entire mechanism of success or failure is your body. It's not like you can call timeout or whatever. It's just about training intensely and training properly with progressive overload and fueling your body like it's a Lamborghini that's driving
In the
down
background.
Sunset. Yeah. I think a lot of us are taught to be afraid of carbs, are taught to be afraid of whatever the trendy fear factor is of the week, whether it's eggs or red meat or spinach, for God's sakes. The key is you need to fuel your body so that it can continue to drive forward. And carbs are what's really like making that engine rev. So endurance sports really teach you by trial and tribulation what you need to be doing and eating.
I can see that. And as you know, when I was getting out of my decade of darkness and I became a triathlete, and it was almost like that triathlon forced me to keep pushing, get in your head. You can do this. It's like just this motivation within yourself and knowing that you can accomplish something. But I know from my triathlon days, you have to be so focused to make sure you're getting enough calories, the carbs, the sugar, like everything. And then while you're running, you have to be fueling as well. So you really do learn how important it is to fuel your body, right?
Right. And I have so much respect for athletes doing multiple disciplines at once. I can't imagine getting out of the water and then, running a marathon or getting on a bike. Fueling is the difference between you being able to do something great or doing something very mediocre. And it's just, that's it. You're less thinking about, am I putting on weight or where are these carbs going to? It's less about your shape and more about propelling your muscle and your heart forward.
What is your training schedule today?
Right now I'm training for the Tokyo Marathon. So,
of course.
Yeah.
She is.
Yeah. My goal
When is it?
with marathons, it's March 1st.
Oh,
so coming right up.
Oh my gosh.
But my goal with marathoning is to do all 7 majors. They just named a 7th, and that's Sydney. And I want to do them all under 3 hours. And we've got 3 of those checked off the list and a couple more to go. It's truly incredible, depending on the sport. And endurance sports are quite different because you really can train the body to keep improving up until you're a certain age, a lot older than some of these team sports or explosive sports. So the game plan is to just keep getting faster and faster until I'm in my mid-40s, and then maybe I'll choose something else.
I love that. I've been like the yoga girl, the triathlete girl, this girl, and now I'm like, let me get outside and get some fresh air, girl, and lift some weights. What is your strength training program personally?
Right now, because of the marathon training, I'm strength training heavy twice a week. And then I will supplement that training with some hot yoga or yoga sculpt. I'm probably lifting weights about 4 times a week and running almost every day. Because I'm training at a higher level currently, I have 1 rest day every 2 weeks. And a lot of the runs I go on are zone 2 runs. So they're low heart rate, very controlled, and they should feel like almost an up-tempo walk. So within all of that training back to back to back, know that there are very light days.
Yeah. I know we talked before too, and you mentioned wanting to do a running program for Tone It Up, which we're going to talk about.
So want to. Yeah.
We're going to talk about that because we have a lot of runners here that are like, what is Stef doing? So I want to shift. You're getting married in November.
Yay! Thank you.
Where are you getting married? Have you found your dress?
I'm just trying to copy everything Karena does and get married in Hawaii. Funny story. I'm glad I can talk about this. My mom and I were just messing around last Saturday, and I hadn't started to think about a dress at all. And I scrolled online. I saw that there's a store open on Abbot Kinney with 1 appointment, and I didn't have to pay for it. So we bopped in and bought a dress in 15 minutes.
Well, wow.
Yeah,
Look at
I'll show
you.
you the picture afterwards. But yeah, I think there's this idea of needing to overcomplicate everything.
Yeah.
But maybe because my mom is just such an incredible hype woman, she's like, I think we're done here. I'm like, you hungry? I'm hungry. Let's go eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think when I went wedding dress shopping, we just went to 4 places. I mean, I did overcomplicate it and like flew family in town, but it was fun. We had a limo and all this stuff, but I went to 4 places, but I knew before I even went to 4 places, I knew the designer I wanted, which was Galia Lahav. And I knew the dress when I put it on, but I still went to 2 others. I was like, this is wasting time. Like, I know what I want.
Oh, I didn't even know how to pronounce that designer's name, but that has been targeting me for months.
And the designer was there in town when I went there. So that was a big selling point.
I just learned what a trunk show was. So this little boy, she's learning.
So let's talk about your dog. You're a dog mom.
Yeah.
You're obsessed.
Miso-chan. I am so, I didn't know I could love something so much.
Yeah.
Which is like dangerous, right? Like as a parent, it's almost scary that you love a thing that much to where it could really break your heart. But that's what love is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know this.
Yes,
Palm
I
Mom
do.
7?
Yes, 7. But don't worry, Pat. She loves you too.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And Pat. He's a really good dad. I think if anything, Miso has been a nice elementary step before we start talking about kids.
Yeah.
Actually, I'll say kid singular. We've agreed on one. And then we'll figure out the rest. But
I agreed on one Pomeranian.
yeah, how'd that go?
Sorry.
Bobby's like famous last words.
All right. What is a funny, quirky, almost embarrassing story that you can share?
I'm trying to think of anything that I've done with Tori in China that's just so embarrassing. Tori's got a lot of hilarious, embarrassing stories. I would say like an embarrassing thing about me is that I am so viciously afraid of public speaking, and yet it's kind of my job.
Same.
Yeah, right? Like we're pretty kindred in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Like closet introverts.
Wait, we have a new word. What is it with yesterday's podcast?
Ambivert. Yeah.
Ambivert.
Right. So like
Ambivert.
by necessity, you have to be extroverted, but like, I think we already talked about, like,
Yeah.
I don't like people a lot of the time. Like I guess I'm good just being home with my dog and my fiance, and I love my people, but also don't like people that much. Like it's nice to hide.
Yeah. I'm a mix of both love and then hide.
Right. Because then you get going and teaching classes and go to events, and it's the highest high of all time. And you realize how many people this community has touched and how many lives it's changed and how many rounds of chemotherapy Tone It Up has taken women through, and pregnancies and getting back to normal after baby. It's incredible what it does. And at the same time, I think everyone has the right to have their personal boundaries. So.
Yeah, I totally agree. So aside from being a fitness superstar, you are also the co-owner of Hume.
Yes.
Let's talk about that because you like to smell good.
Yes. Hume is a non-toxic skincare brand. I was happily brought on as a co-owner in 2021, and we're doing amazing things. So we just launched a body wash, and it smells a lot like Le Labo's Santal.
There's Le Labo here at the hotel.
Oh, so good.
Yes.
So good. But I really appreciate, especially, when you focus on fueling your body so intently with good foods, and, some processed foods are fine too, whatever. But that kind of pushed me toward wanting to get curious about what is on my skin and therefore absorbed by my skin. So when I was in chats with the Hume founder, Jeremy, I kind of had a light bulb moment of this dry body oil that is all over my skin is actually like skin food, and non-toxic deodorant is something everyone should be using, but doesn't always work with every brand. So that's why I love Hume. We have 8 SKUs. What do you think? I call them flavors. But coming out with more, and we are in Ralph's, H-E-B, CVS, all of like the Vons related stores, Mariano's. I'm missing a ton on the East Coast, but we will soon be launching in a place that you know very well that I cannot announce yet.
Oh,
But it is, yeah.
Amazing. Well, congrats on that.
Just expanding. Yeah, I love being a part of a team.
Yeah.
Tone It Up, Hume, any sport I've ever played, it's exactly where I feel most at home. I don't ever want to be the only voice speaking. I don't think that's an accurate depiction of
I agree.
any organization.
Yeah.
I love to share the victories, and I love to problem solve together.
And 3 non-negotiable daily wellness practices.
Floss. My mother is a periodontist. You should know that if you are on a deserted island with the option to either floss or brush the rest of your life, you should pick floss.
Shit.
Gum disease will kill you first.
I know. I'm like bad. I'm like, because I don't travel with floss and then I don't floss for like a week. And yeah, okay.
TIU
Your mom would yell at me.
flossing challenge.
Yeah.
And not the dance. The second one would be another form of flossing. I love toe spacers. Think if there's anything dorky that I can bestow upon everyone else, think about your foot health. A lot of our injuries and imbalances stem from the ground up. And every running injury that I've come across in the last 2 years of training long distance has stemmed from lack of mobility in my feet or dexterity with my toes.
I've had a foot injury for even when we were filming. Remember I had that?
Oh, yeah.
It's getting better because over the holidays, I actually stayed off my feet.
Yeah.
But yeah, foot health. Tips
goodness.
on like what? Like stretching, toe stretchers.
Yeah. Well, as a yogi, do you ever do the broken toe pose?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I need 2 yoga blocks to prop me up on the side because it's so painful and intense for me. But that's one you should be doing a couple times a week at least. Just make sure that got some movement down there.
I'm loving this. We've got teeth, we've got feet. What's number 3?
The thing that I have realized, it's taken me 35 years to realize this. There's all this fancy recovery tech out there, and I'm a sucker for all of it. The red light, the compression sleeves, the this and the that. The best medicine is sleep. If you are feeling inflamed, if you feel like you've gained a couple pounds, if you feel like your mind is not right, or your mood is all over the place, or your appetite's crazy, try sleeping first. Try getting a consistent week of good sleep. It has changed my world.
What is your technique, your pre-sleep technique to make sure you sleep?
Oh, girl, I'm still working on that part.
I think you just named like literally dozens in the background, like saying, because we're like, we don't floss enough. My toes need help and my sleep needs help. So
I think like also people try to dive too deeply and spend all this money on beauty stuff.
Yeah.
And I swear sleep is a beauty remedy. I promise you. But yeah, I have to drug myself to sleep half the time. Honestly.
What do you use?
CBD, just a very low dose of CBD or if I have to, a little bit of melatonin. I try to stay away from that and just do magnesium.
Mm-hmm. I get nightmares on magnesium.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Some people do, some don't.
Yeah.
But I don't. And some people get weird dreams on melatonin, but I don't.
Yeah. I've liked a tiny bit of CBD and doing that early enough in the evening so that you're truly winding down. So honestly, if I want to go to bed at 10:30 or 11, maybe I'm taking that CBD at like 7:30. It takes me a while.
Yeah. Well, Stef, any last wise words for this podcast?
Wise words. Continue to show up for yourself because every time you post a picture of your workout or say hi to us in a DM or really just show yourself shining, it inspires someone else.
It really does.
It inspires us. So thank you for showing up. Thanks for having our backs all these years. And thank you, Karena, for having me on. It's
thank you.
So nice to chat with you.
Thank you. Thank you for everything you've been vulnerable to share. And I think those are like the 3 best wellness tips that no one has ever said on a podcast before, but like so true. All right. Thank you. This is Tone It Down.